Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Darren Harriott, Zoe Lyons and Ed Gamble, James Acaster, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is it a card signed by everyone in North Korea?
He's presumably, Donald is thinking that he's really delighted he's got a card, but given his political background, he's thinking, I really hope that's not from Clinton's.
It's also nice he's turned it around so you can see the back of the envelope, because otherwise we'd find out what the address of the White House is. That would be a massive security risk.
Is it even an envelope, or is this Donald Trump getting his Klan hood back from the dry cleaner?
Oh, what, so he's not a racist now?
Is that Donald Trump doing a hilarious prank where when you lift up the flap, he's got his willy poking out?
Has he intercepted Melania's plea for help?
Is Trump thinking, thanks for the envelope, but I also ordered fried rice?
Is this...
Oh, what? I know.
Is this what it looks like when someone over 70 receives an email?
It looks like he's making the envelope talk. Looks like he's holding it and just doing a little mime and being like, don't bum us, Donnie's a nice guy, really.
But he would do it in, like, a really awful North Korean fake accent, wouldn't he? Surely.
Yeah. But don't set me up for that.
Comedian, what that would sound like.
I reckon, knowing Donald Trump's intellect, he's probably had a stationary mishap and super-glued himself to an envelope about 3 weeks ago. He's just trying to style it out.
Is this actually a prank being played on him by Kim Jong-un? All to do with his collusion with Russia. When he opens the envelope, there's actually a smaller envelope inside, and when he opens it again, there's...
Do they know what the correct answer is?
Yes. This is the two leads in the 2018 remake of You Got Mail.
They're meeting in the White House to discuss the upcoming summit between North Korea and the United States.
That's very good. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. This is a picture of Donald Trump and North Korean official Kim Yong-chol in the Oval Office, taken by official White House photographer Sheila Craighead. Trump was receiving a letter from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, thought to be about their nuclear weapons summit in Singapore next week.
Singapore?
Yeah.
Singapore. And apparently Singapore are going to cover the costs for North Korea, which is very nice of them.
They're going to put him up in the presidential suite.
Yes.
I'm livid about that. He's not a president, Dara. He's a third supreme leader. He should be put up in a...
Supreme leader.
Third Supremier in.
What concessions are we hoping that North Korea will make at this? What would be a triumph at this?
Well, they're going to denuclearise the peninsula, apparently.
Yep.
I don't quite know what that means, really.
It means to take the nuclear away.
OK.
Yes.
The science guy.
Yeah, it's always good to have you here, isn't it?
Someone's been texting Brian Cox again.
Has he replied yet, Dara?
No, still waiting.
A long string of iMessages with Dara going, please, Brian, say something back to me.
It is just depressing. It's every week it's going to be Donald Trump again, isn't it, now, from here to eternity?
Yes.
And all I think when I see Donald Trump... Now, I get the same thought in my head as I get after a particularly painful bikini wax. I think Bush wasn't that bad.
I think the whole big envelope thing is really... That's going to be the start of the end of the world. Like, he's got a big envelope. Trump will have to send back an even bigger envelope to Kim. And then he'll send back another big... Until there's just one massive envelope that blocks out the sun, and that's the end of the world.
Somebody will go Jiffy at some point. Upper level.
You've got to bump it up with a Jiffy, haven't you?
I'm going Jiffy.
I wish that Jiffy wasn't also a condom brand, the way you just said that.
It's a condom with bubble wrap.
For her pleasure.
Gives you something to do, Dara.
Well, it would be very difficult to pop. What are you doing? Are you not enjoying this? I know, I'm not bored. I think pop. I'm only killing time. Pop. Stop doing that. This is an act of intimate love. I know.
Yeah.
I love you. Pop.
Sometimes I don't like being in this seat.
Do you like that window of my lovemaking?
It's
you know?
right next to you, pretending to pop a bubble wrap with your vagina.
Is that why people say, I'll be with you in a jiffy?
That applause is sort of what it sounds like when you really go for it wearing it.
What changes is Trump making to his lifestyle, actually?
He's on a diet.
He's apparently on a diet, yes.
Yeah, he said he wants to lose a stone. The only way Trump's going to lose a stone is if he kills Mick Jagger.
Trump's already lost 6 stone. His wife.
I think he thought it might be provocative going to talks about denuclearisation if he himself weighed 3 megatons.
I'm quite happy that Trump is the size he is. Because at least, you know, as a woman, you can see him coming, you know. Worse than a fat Trump is a stealth Trump. You don't want that...
Aerodynamic Trump.
You don't want a stealth Trump creeping up on you, do you? Going, hey, 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 you know.
I'm glad he's on a diet. It's about time he got impeach body ready.
Hey.
That is the oddest reaction I've ever had to an audience. You all groaned and then applauded. You skipped a laugh, and you know what? I'll take it.
Which Kim did Trump manage to meet?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian, yes.
That is a photo of the arse that broke the internet standing next to Kim Kardashian.
Good on her. Everyone having a go at her.
Yeah,
Being all like, "Oh, you just take selfies of your own butt all the time. You can't go in there and talk to the president." And but then she probably, you know, those things aren't mutually exclusive. Just because you can take a photo of your own butt and have interest in prison reform. It's not pick a team, is it? Do what you want. You sound like do both of those. You like science.
Yeah.
And stars and the galaxy.
And taking photos of his arse.
I'm taking photos of my butt. Yeah, I do. My Instagram account is locked, I'll say that, but...
Oh, and what I wouldn't give to find that key.
Out of interest, how do you take the selfies of your own butt?
Of my own butt? Yeah. OK, I have a curved stick. And a complex set of mirrors involving angles and stuff. Brian Cox set it up for me with the physics. How has Trump angered his allies around the world?
He's introduced tariffs.
He has.
On steel and aluminium, although we might... on the UK, on the EU, although we might get away with that because they don't call it aluminium, do they? They call it aluminum.
You really think you will evade any international tariffs by the thing will come in and they won't recognise the word aluminium?
They'll go, is this aluminum? And we'll go, no.
The EU put tariffs on snuff, which is really going to annoy any 19th century aristocrats.
I love snuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, I popped some before. Give me a bit of courage to do this show. Did a little bit of snuff.
No, James, you did cocaine.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to James Hiranda. Now we play a round called Kim Jong Fun. This game involves Darren and Angela. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is work. Who wants to come in that? Darren.
Hey, I used to have a job. Well, like a normal job. I used to work as a bouncer. And when I worked as a bouncer, you get a lot of insults. No one ever tells you about the insults that you get. I'll tell you the worst insult I ever got, right? It was from a student, little shit. Nah, keep raising those fees, right? This student, right, he was causing trouble. I chucked him out. He just looked at me and he went, yeah, you're a bouncer. Is that what you always wanted to be? There was no moment I realised I wanted to be a bouncer. It's not like I was in school as a kid And my teacher sent me out the class for talking, and I stood next to the door, and I was like, actually, I'm pretty good at this. I never worked nice places, right? I worked this one place in South London, really rough, right? On my first day, they put me on search, and I was searching people, patting people down as you do. This guy walks in, he has a bit of an attitude, right? In his pocket, he has one of those, like, utility things with different parts. And as I'm searching him, I've said, oh, you've probably forgotten this, but you can't take that in because it's got a little blade on it. And he looked at me and he went, yeah, but it's also got a comb and a nail file. Like, yeah, but I'm not scared you're going to go in and open a salon, right? That's not the worry here, mate. And he goes, all right, what about this? And he reaches down, and I swear to God, he pulls out a 9-inch blade. Like, the blade was so big, I could see my own terrified reflection. I'm dealing with this guy for about an hour outside the club. He gets so angry. He said probably the scariest but most beautifulest thing I've ever heard anybody say ever. With complete anger on his face, looking at me, he just goes, I gave you the knife because I want to dance.
Thank you, Sam. That leaves us with Angela. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And it's relationships.
Ooh. Hello. I am in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. I've been with my fella for 4 years, which is frankly a miracle, because I was single for a really long time before I met, like an embarrassingly long time. You know, I thought it was terminal. Because some people find it very easy to get into relationships. They bounce from one to the next, no bother at all. I didn't find it that easy. Did you know even Oscar Pistorius managed to get himself a girlfriend when he was under house arrest? That's not fair, is it? She must have been shitting herself. Largely because it was safer than using the bathroom. I love that moment while you decide whether that's all right or not. I met my fellow online, and I loved internet dating. Here's my little trick, right? If you're going to do it, what you do is you treat it like a game, like a hobby. Like I kept a spreadsheet of all my results. You know, no, because you meet some glorious losers along the way. I went on 2 dates. This one guy, I thought he could have been the one. Could have been so much so that I invited him round to my house for dinner, and he came round, and we went to bed together because it's the 21st century and I'm a slag. And see what I like, right? And we were about to get down to it, and he said something to me no one's ever said to me before. He said, Angela, I'd really like it if you'd let me cover you in toothpaste. But no, you lot don't look shocked by that. Is that a thing? Toothpaste? I said, for a start, it's got a certain deep heat quality to it. You're going to cover me in a toiletry, at least make it IMAC and save me a job later. He'd even brought his own toothpaste with him. Yeah, and it wasn't the cheap stuff either. It was Oral-B. Which, incidentally, is also what I graded him on my spreadsheet.
Thank you very much. Points there for Angela. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Darren, which category would you like?
I'll take home news.
Delightful. The category is home news. The answer is mild, severe and Armageddon. What is the question?
Is it, what were the speed settings on Ant McPartland's car?
What does Roseanne divide her tweets into?
Is it the name of Jacob Rees-Mogg's next 3 children?
Is it the nicknames of the North Korean Spice Girls?
Is it how would I name the 3 stages of food poisoning I had on a recent trip to Egypt?
Is it, what are the 3 levels of STDs that'll be contracted on this year's Love Island?
What were the 3 possible outcomes when Meghan Markle was introduced to Prince Philip?
Is it? What 3 options do I give criminals before delivering a good old-fashioned pummeling?
You've got to stop doing this. You really, this vigilante thing has got to end.
Also, you've revealed your secret identity.
So, I don't care. Look at my... Get the camera on me. It's me, criminals. I'm the pummeler.
And you've not even got changed. You've just taken your mask off.
This is what I wear anyway, and then I pull the jumper up over my head.
What are the 3 most frequent entries in Elvis's poo diary? No? OK, maybe...
I really like that. Is it name 3 words that get progressively harder to spell?
What are the disappointment levels for England's upcoming World Cup games?
And you know what it actually is?
What are the 3 possible outcomes of Britain leaving Europe without a deal, with no deal?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. Specifically, the questions looking for is what possible scenarios have been drawn up in the event of a no-deal Brexit, according to a leaked civil service report. The report claimed that supplies of medicine, food and fuel could be at risk within just a few weeks if Britain walked away from the EU without a deal. Where would be worst affected?
Cornwall and Scotland.
Cornwall and Scotland were specifically mentioned. It seemed really harsh to pick on Cornwall, but yes, Cornwall and Scotland are the ones where stuff will run out first.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, there may be more to it that, like, but the idea is that in a week's time, Scottish people will be walking around supermarkets going, there's no food, and people going, you could try the vegetables. There's no food.
Mild, severe and Armageddon is just going to worry people, and people don't understand that. You need to put it in a way that British people understand it. Do all the Brexit outcomes with numbers of chilies next to them.
That is the code we get, yeah.
Then people will actually be happier with the worse option, because you put 3 chili... Yeah, give me a 3 chili Brexit, mate, I'm not a pussy.
Because this is a civil servants have done this before, haven't they? And, of course, the Brexiteers are really...
Yes, of course.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the negative. It's like giving a teenage boy a leaflet on masturbation, you know. They don't want to hear it. They're just going to use it as a tissue.
Depends if it's instructions.
He's got a horrible image of you at 14 going... OK, step 2.
And that is why he's called the pummeler.
You with your jumper over your face, going to town on yourself.
Take that, criminals! Take that! How have Brexiteers reacted to the leaked report?
Jacob Rees-Mogg has described it as Project Fear on speed. Now, I don't believe he said that, because I think he would have said Project Fear on laudanum or opium. But then I thought I'd quite like to see Jacob Rees-Mogg on speed, because then maybe he'll speak at the same speed as the rest of us.
You should know, by the way, Rees-Mogg, if you're Irish, Rees-Mogg is just... he does interviews about Ireland, and he clearly knows nothing about Ireland, and you're kind of going, all of Ireland watch these interviews and going, what? How is nobody asking any questions of this man? He clearly goes up and goes, well, the situation in Ireland with the border is that whole region is run by unicorns and leprechauns anyway. You might as well be saying this genuinely.
And that's not true.
Ferocious, but no, it's not run by unicorns.
I know that, Dara. I know the unicorns and leprechauns run separate counties.
Well, there's an example that's more far-fetched, and don't do one that we know is kind of basically true. You've just tweaked it a little bit.
This is the thing. We genuinely, at all levels of our society, we're going, what is he talking about, and why is nobody... Because if you're a doctor, right, this genuinely is like watching, as an Irish person, watching discussions about Ireland in the British media at the moment. It's like if you're a doctor who gets angry watching aromatherapists on This Morning and going, why are you letting them away with saying this? He is the Dr. Gillian McKeith of international politics.
If you're a scientist watching a comedian on a science project.
Well, I know you know
nuclear, and that's a word I know how to use.
Someone told me that today it is 13 years since the first ever episode of Mock the Week was filmed.
Yes, it is.
That's
yeah,
true?
that is true.
And that is the biggest burn ever on this show.
I feel like I've been pummeled.
Yeah. What setting do you want, my man?
I don't remember the Leave campaign mentioning these potential results.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing the bus with no medicine, no food, and you have to suck someone off to get a Twix.
Then you would have voted Leave, right?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare for supermarkets. They run out of food. And presumably for Deliveroo, because they'll have to cycle your pizza from Belgium.
But now that we are leaving and I was a Remainer, there's a bit of me that kind of... bring on the Armageddon. Really. I kind of picture myself in 3 years' time just sat on a porch in a vest with dribbles of bourbon and gravy down it, just with a half-cocked shotgun over one arm, just going, get off my land! I'm just... We've got to do it, let's do it.
I'm just bored of it, aren't you? I'm bored of having to write jokes about it. I'm bored of having to think about it. I feel about Brexit now the same way as I feel about being flashed at by a stranger. I no longer care if it's hard or soft. I just want it to bugger off.
Sounds like someone's met the pummeler.
In other news, who shot themselves in the foot this week?
FBI agent.
An FBI agent, yes?
Yes.
How did he do such a thing?
He did a backflip while he was dancing. His gun fell out and he just shot someone.
Yes.
Yes.
He was at a nightclub and he decided to show his dancing off. And then we've got the video of it here. This is an FBI agent who happens to be out dancing. Somebody posted it here. And the dancing is quite... It's fairly naff dancing. But then he does a flip. You have to watch for the gun, which pops out from the back of his trousers, falls out. He goes to pick it. That's the gun going off. And then the best bit, he puts it back in the arse of his trousers and walks off going, my bad, my bad. Doesn't walk towards the person he shot, just exits stage left. It didn't go off when it hit the ground. It was on the ground. He reached down to pick it up. And that was enough for it to go off.
Because that's the first thing they teach you at the FBI. You pick your gun up by the trigger.
Yeah.
Grab it by the trigger. Squeeze to grab and get close together.
I'll be honest with you, Dara. There's been plenty of times when I've watched white people dance and thought, someone please shoot me.
The gun lobbyists would claim that if the other dancers had all had guns, that would never have happened.
Yes. At the end of that round, the points go to Darren, Zoe and Ed. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never made it to air.
Trouble with your nerves? Don't move to Salisbury.
Special offer, must end soon. Anton Deck, buy 2, get 1.
Southern Rail, on time, every time.
Oh, no, my husband died in the night. He was wearing his favourite kilt and he had his lovely fudge and he passed away and now I've got no husband. Real Scottish widow.
Toast, because you're not allowed to pour melted butter directly into your mouth.
Toblerone. For those friends you remember right at the last second.
Ryman are changing their name in the northeast. They're going to be called Ryman.
Can't decide between LSD and magic mushrooms? Well, read all our reviews of hallucinogenics on TripAdvisor.
Want a blush that lasts all day? Watch 50 Shades of Grey with your nan.
Black and considering dignitas? Why not save your money and come to America? Approach a police officer for more information.
Ever wanted to eat a novelty-sized pencil eraser? Try halloumi.
And now the homemade pizza that's so easy anyone can do it. Pizza piss.
I'm Gaz, this is Lecky, and we're the new hosts of Saturday Night Takeaway.
The new Frosty cereal for people with Tourette syndrome. Their grandma's a bitch.
We're not just making people redundant, we're making M&S people redundant.
Ladies, feel more confident with Tenor Lady. You're in safe hands.
Cars, because sometimes horses are just two men in a costume.
Heavy periods, wombs, other women's things. Right, now the men aren't listening. The revolution starts at dawn.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bacon. Please kill me.
Next week at Asda, we're arresting ourselves for sexual assault.
OK, next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a medical exam.
So we have successfully removed all of the excessive, unsightly, fatty matter, but I'm afraid all that's left is the wig, Mrs. Trump.
Right, I'm just going to remove my finger from your bottom. Thank you, nurse. Now, would you show the patient it?
And how many units would you say you drink a week? Oh, 4. Tell you what, I'll just write absolute lightweight.
Mr. Rees-Mogg, you must be in for your bellendoscopy.
Now, you may feel a slight itching sensation because I forgot to put my gloves on and I'm absolutely riddled.
Yeah, when you're picking up your prescription, do me a favour, deliver this message. Pharmacists stink, doctors rule.
Well, I've done your rectal exam and your tonsil exam, and I have very bad news. I didn't wash my hands in between.
You're constipated. Well, that's because you've only got 3 weeks to live. Only joking, but you're not constipated anymore, are you?
It was a 6-month waiting list because of all the immigrants. Now that they've gone back home, it's an 18-month waiting list. Turns out they were all the staff.
OK, so the deal is, I don't tell your husband it's not his baby, and you don't tell anyone that when you came in here, I was using my stethoscope to listen to my own butt.
I'm afraid you have 2 rather nasty-looking moles on your back, but more worrying than that is the aggressive-looking ferret in your arse.
Doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. Pull yourself together. What? I clearly got a mental disorder that's so inconsiderate. A classic's a classic. Brilliant for it's the stupidest one so far.
I would shake your hand, Doctor, but I just don't want to drop my stool sample.
Well, we've x-rayed you, madam, and I don't quite know how to say this. You've swallowed a whole baby.
Oh, that's nice. It says here you've got a trophy. Oh, atrophy.
Well, you need 2 prosthetic limbs. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Well, I got a pen, and I joined together all the moles on your back, and it made a picture of me, and I think we're soulmates. Hold me forever. I love you so much.
Yes. Yes, that is an enormous penis. And much bigger than yours.
At the end of that round, the points go to James here and Angela. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are James Acaster, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. Commiserations to Darren Harriott, Zoe Lyons and Ed Gambo. Thank you for watching. I'm Darryl Breen. Good night.